Hello. It is Friday, which is good for most people. It usually means you have a break from work and that type of thing, and it's just something we look forward to. So I'm looking forward to Friday because we have fun stuff planned this weekend and everything, and I'm looking forward to it. But something on my mind, because I was looking at our calendar ahead and everything, was the idea of date nights. So first, let me introduce myself before we jump into what it means, what I'm talking about with date nights. Let me introduce myself. Sorry, jumbling over words right there. Just ignore that. My name is Maya, and I am super passionate about helping women find their wild beauty and their uniqueness and taking that out in the world to make a difference and make an impact. So here's what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to do a makeup look with it too, and that is date night. So I'm going to do a date night look. But I wanted to talk about date nights first. For any of you who are married, and this is maybe for some of you that are thinking about married or will future be married or whatever it may be, or engaged and getting ready to be married, I cannot say enough about the importance of date nights. I'm saying date night, but let's just say a date. It can be anytime because my husband and I are going to be trying something new and a little bit different soon because we are in a new rhythm now. But there is such an importance of date nights. But before I get started in talking about it, I'm going to start while I talk. I'm going to attempt this, you guys. We'll see if I can do a good job. And of course, I'm sorry. I should have had this laid out, but I am trying to find there we go, my brush. I'm going to start with this amazing color of cream shadow called Defiant. Do you see it? It's like the creamy, buttery gold type of color. And I'm just going to grab my cream shadow brush, and this is going to go all over my lids. First, I have like my base makeup done. So I put on primer with some liquid foundation, some concealer right here because I need it, and some primer on my eyes before I'm putting on anything else. And I did my eyebrows with the brow palette. Okay, so I'm going to put this and grab it, and I'm going to get it all over my lid while I'm chatting to you about dating your spouse again, or getting ready for that, or whatever it may be. Okay, so we will have been married for 16 years in July. And we've definitely gone through phases where we've been really good at dating each other and really bad at doing it. So do you remember that feeling when you first start dating somebody and you are just excited to be with them and can't wait to spend time with them, and it's something you look forward to, and it doesn't really matter what you're doing, right? You're kind of like, okay, I love this and I love spending time with this person. Here's the thing, when you get married, and it even changes more once you have children, that is hard to find time for that because, see, I've put it all over my lid and I've gone just a little bit above my lid too, in my crease and above. And I'm actually going to take that out a little bit more. My hair is in the way. So you get busy. You have jobs, you have things, you have friends to hang out with, you have family to do things with, you just get busy. And you kind of get in a routine, which there's nothing wrong with a routine. I am all about routines and I love routines. It helps kind of give, I don't know, at least when you have children, I feel it kind of gives a place for them to feel rooted with routines. But you got to change it up. You got to keep it more kind of exciting and have time to like truly connect instead of it just being about like what's for dinner, what's on our schedule tomorrow, that kind of thing. And so, like I said, my husband and I truly are not perfect in this, but I think we always kind of take a step back and look and are like, oh, we need more dates. So date night is so important. So there's something, most of the time we are working on a very slim budget. I'll just be very honest. So we have really not ever kind of been in a place where we've gone out to fancy dinners or those kind of things. Occasionally, yes, for a special event, but really generally, or someone gives us a gift certificate, we've been able to do it then too. But generally, we are very budget minded when it comes to date nights. So I thought we could talk about some ideas for date nights. For us in the States, we haven't done this as much here, but I think we've discovered some places now that we can. We used to go to bookstores a lot. That sounds really weird. I should say too, everyone has their own style of date. Some people love going to movies. And that is like their date thing. Some people like really love going out to dinner, that kind of thing. I mean, everybody is different. So you've got to find your thing that you as a couple really do love. For us, we love hanging out and just chilling together. It doesn't mean that we always have to be talking the whole time. Sometimes it can be both of us reading a book. No to phones. At least this is my opinion. Phones are down because that's a distraction. But reading a book or something like that, but then like talking in between and that kind of stuff gives such life to us as a couple. It doesn't mean we're doing that the whole time. We do go to movies sometimes. This is just us. This does not mean this is everybody. For us, going to a movie for a date night is not always what we love, because then we don't actually get time to talk to each other because we're obviously, like focused on the screen and stuff. It's okay to me, like we've kind of have this pact, is if we're going to go to see a movie, it means that we are going to go to dinner before or go do something after, so we have time to actually talk and connect. Because, I guess you could talk through a movie at a movie theater, but most likely most people around you are not going to be happy about that. So that is kind of like our pact we have with dates. Here is where I think it can be interesting, different stages of life. When we had a newborn baby, we did bring him along to a lot of those things because he slept. So he would literally sleep through our dates. But once it got to the point that he no longer did that, we made sure that we traded with a friend. So we did not have the money at that time to, and frankly a lot of times, to pay for a babysitter. And so we would trade with friends and ask, hey, if we watch your kids this week, can you watch our kids next week to let us go out and do something? I'm trying to think, if you're on a budget, some things that we would do is Pat and I would go to toy stores and play. I know that sounds so weird and maybe it sounds creepy, but I promise it was not. There's this huge toy store in the States called Toys R Us, and we just thought it was so fun to walk around and see things and stuff like that. Like I said, we would go to bookstores. A lot of the bookstores, bigger ones at least, would have like coffee shops in them and that type of thing. So we'd grab a small drink and then like walk around and find stuff that inspired us and talk about it and that kind of thing. We a lot of times would go, there's this place called Goodwill here that would be like a charity shop, but in the States it's a very big place, and we would like walk around and just have fun trying on goofy clothes that people had donated, and sometimes we found really cool stuff for our house or anything like that. So those are like creative things. When it's nice outside, going to a park and bringing along a picnic or something like that is absolutely wonderful too. There was a museum that used to be free in Indianapolis. I don't think it is anymore. Is the IMA still free? I'm not sure if it is or not. I know they changed it for a while. I'm not sure if they've gone back since we've left. But when it was free, we went there a lot because, well, keyword free, or walking around the city or the canal and stuff like that. Here, there are a lot of museums that are free, so it makes it really easy for us. I know museums are not the thing for everybody though. So that like I said, you have to find what's unique for you as a couple. So for us, we love going to museums, looking at art, talking about it, finding whatever their cafe is or something like that, and getting like a cookie and a drink or something like that, and chatting and hanging out and that kind of thing. But that's how we're wired. So that may not be how you're wired. So you have to find your thing. So why is it important though? Is because you have to continue to connect in different ways. Each stage is going to have something different. And maybe that you're in the stage of your marriage where you're really focusing on your careers and growing that and stuff. You need to take a break from that and connect one-on-one from that too. And maybe like us, that you are in the stage with having kids. We're in like this kind of weird middle stage. We still have a toddler. I think 3 is still considered a toddler. I'm not really sure what she's considered, but we also have a 10-year-old. So we're about ready, almost 11. That's crazy. We are about ready to enter a new stage into like preteen. I can't even think about it. I'm not ready for that. But it's so going to be important during all of those stages for us to still be connecting and having date nights. So here's the other thing. I feel like on a normal basis, I just get dressed in the morning, stuff like that. And I tend to just be like, whatever. What is fun, which is fine. That is a fine attitude. I have fun with makeup still. What is fun with having date nights is, or date days, or whenever you can find time to do it, is that you kind of, when you're dating somebody and you go that extra mile because you're like, oh, it's not that you want to impress them. You just want to feel confident as you step into a date with them and everything like that. That is still good to do when you're married because it's fun. I will say my husband in particular, he loves when I have makeup on and loves when I go like a little bit extra and over the top, not over the top, but maybe we'll do more dramatic eyes or something like that. He loves that, but he also loves when I'm in a t-shirt and jeans, and he's fine with that. So, and tennis shoes and that kind of thing. Trainers, sorry, I should use the UK term. So it just kind of depends on my mood and what we're doing, whether or not I do that. Another idea, before I jump back into the makeup, for ideas for date nights if you are on a budget. You can do in-home date nights. You just have to be strict with them. So here's how we do it. So I will get to how we're changing things in a minute because we're in a new life stage. But for us, we always had one date night out and one date night in per month. And we literally would put it on our calendar 2 to 3 months ahead of time so that we honored it, because it is so easy to be like, we'll do that later, and then keep pushing it back. And then it's been 3 months and you've not had any kind of date whatsoever. So our date nights in for us looked like, again, we made sure our phones are put away. That is not something we have out. We're not, sometimes I'll admit that I'll pause and I'll take a picture for Instagram. So that breaks the rule a little bit, but then it's back up. So our phones are up. We will normally pick something to make together and make a dinner together. Maybe something that our kids won't eat, because our kids eat a lot, but there are certain things they don't like to eat, but Pat and I enjoy. And so we'll have some wine, make a nice dinner in, and then usually have the dinner and hang out. Sometimes we'll, it's very totally. We used to play Scrabble together. I think we maybe at the maturity level, we can bring it back. We're super competitive with one another. And so when it comes to something like a game, it was actually, we are now in the day and age where we can get out our phones and look up if that's actually a word. What tend to happen is that we would make up words and get in fights. Whether or not that was a right word, and who was being vulnerable here, and who truly had won, and stuff like that. I think we've grown that we can probably bring Scrabble back. But if that's not your thing, we sometimes do watch a movie. That is sometimes where we watch a movie or watch a show or something like that. But we always make sure we still have connecting time, whether that's dinner or a dessert or something like that, to just sit, eat, relax on the couch and talk, or whatever that may be. Sometimes a lot of our in-home date nights will do something like that, eat and everything like that, and we'll both grab books and read and talk to each other as we're reading and things like that. Again, you've got to find what's unique for you guys and what you both enjoy. That being said, sometimes it means that you enjoyed 2 different things, and your date nights can look like one a month means that you're doing something that one of you enjoys, and the next part of the month, the other one enjoys. I'm trying to think of an example for us. We tend to enjoy generally a lot of the same things. So I don't know that I can think of, maybe it's the type of movie or something like that, or show. There you go. There's an example I can think of. I love historical fiction. And I love documentaries. I don't like other stuff, really. I do. Sometimes I like a good comedy or something like that. Something that's going to make me laugh. Pat, whenever I'm like, ooh, let's watch that one, I can see him inside be like, oh my gosh, we're really going to get sucked into something historical fiction again. He's enjoyed some of them. Other ones he has said, can we be done watching this? So again, find a happy medium. Don't always have to have it your way or the other person. You got to find a happy medium. Okay, so put this on, Defiant, all over my lid. So I'm going to make it even a little bit more, and I'm going to come to the outer edges, and I'm going to add a little bit of smokiness with this pressed shadow color called Nimble. Okay, as I'm doing this, I'm going to continue to talk about dates, because it's a good topic. I think that maybe sometimes I feel like you hear people say, when everyone's like, oh, do you have advice for the new married couple or something like that? Or you write advice down, like sometimes at weddings they'll have places where you'll write this down, and it will be, I know on ours was like, continue dating your husband. Well, okay, what does that mean? Like, it seems like, yeah, I guess that makes sense, but you're not really sure what that means. And it's just because you still need to connect and everything. So for us, again, each stage has looked a whole lot different. So for the stage we are in now, sorry, my eye is itching. Of course, when I'm putting on makeup on, that happens. Some of you know, if you follow here, that my daughter has recently started. It's just different in the UK. So yes, she's only 3, but she has started full-time school, which means my husband's day off is Saturday and Monday. Saturdays are typically family time, and we're doing something together as a family because the kids are obviously home on a Saturday. All of them are home on a Saturday. But now my daughter is in full-time school, and so from 9 to 3-ish, somewhere around there, she's gone. It's a little hot. I can say that now without getting choked up, because it has been an adjustment for me, because it is much younger than it is in the States. And so for me, oh, sorry, making a V here, and then I'm going to blend it. For me, it's been a bit of an adjustment. But what that means is we now have our Mondays open to be able to do something. And so it is hard to go in London, I will say, at night. It is hard to go and do something on a budget. So at night, at a certain time, the museum's closed. So there's our free museum stuff. Eating out is definitely more expensive here in London. just because it's London and it's a city. It would be the same way in the States. So there are budget places, but you know, so going out at night tends to be more expensive. Sometimes, a lot of the times too, a lot of our friends here work, and so they're not even done till 7 or get back to our area, could get to our area till 7 or 8. And for us, we kind of would like to have a little bit more time. So that kind of has limited some things for us for date nights out in the evenings here in London. That's why we've done a lot of date nights in. So we now are able to switch, and this is where you can be creative and find ways to make this work if you have a different kind of schedule. We now have decided we are blocking off 2 Mondays a month that are going to be our date days. And we sat and we talked about like what that looks like. Okay, see what I did? I got this down here. You can leave it because I'm probably still gonna, and you can just brush it off because it's powder, so it'll come off. So we are going to be using our Mondays as like date days. So this could mean that we are going to sit at home and veg. That may be it without kids, because that looks a whole lot different for those of you that have children. Like chilling and relaxing without kids looks a lot different than it does with kids, right? Without them climbing all over you, saying they need to use the toilet, all that stuff. So we are going to use Mondays as that, and we are super excited about it. It may not mean we're doing the full 9 to 3 thing, but there may be some days, since we can, that we will do that. We're still going to do it very budget conscious. Probably a lot of free museums, probably packing our lunches to go to things, that kind of thing. But still doesn't matter. It's about spending time together. Try not to have date envy. This has happened to us a lot, especially because we're normally on a budget. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show this to you guys really quick. So beautiful, like gold, orangish, kind of matches my top I have on. And then brown on the outside. And the reason why I love these cream shadows is because you put them on as a cream. They're not going to crease or anything, but they are also, excuse me, going to dry to powder. So then you can take something and add more color to it and do the blending like what I just did. So now I'm going to add in some liner. Date envy is where you watch other people, especially with social media and stuff, and you see them posting about their dates. And you're like, oh, I wish we could do that. Or I wish I was in that stage of life. Or I wish I could afford to do that. Normal comparison creeps in even when it comes to dates. And so try not to do that. Be okay with where you're at. I know it's hard. I struggle with it too. Be okay where you're at, and realize that you're unique as a couple, and you might be in a unique season or a different season than that person you're looking at or anything like that. Maybe, you know, there's lots of different things that could be different, but try not to compare yourself with it. I have caught myself doing that before. I'm like, wish we could afford to go out to a restaurant like that, because that would be really fun. It's normal, but I need to not be thinking like that, because we get to do some unique things that maybe others are looking at us saying like, oh, I wish we could. So like you could get caught in this vicious cycle of that. So enjoy where you're at and enjoy the moment, who you're with, and everything like that. Again, easier said than done sometimes, so I totally get it, and I'm with you on that. I don't want you to think I'm perfect in that, because I am far from that. Okay, liner that we have going on is called Proper. It's like a deep chocolatey brown, and I am just, you can kind of see, I am putting it on my lash line right in here. See, I do small strokes so that I don't, I can't draw a straight line. Let's just be honest. So that helps me not have to draw a straight line. So I do it in small strokes, and then it looks like it's straight. Amazing how that works. Okay, coming in right here. I smudge it out a little bit too. So you can see I'm smudging it out right there. And then I'm going to finish off the eye look with mascara. So what I love about if we were going out on a date night, and who knows, maybe I'll do this for our date days. I kind of like surprising my husband. That sounds weird, but I will sometimes like shut the door and like put on some fun makeup and put on, I normally don't have new outfits, but putting on an outfit, maybe wearing it a little bit differently, or something that I know that he's like a big fan of, or something like that. And then, where were we going? We did something recently, and it's kind of escaping me what it was. I'll think of it. We did something recently that he was downstairs, and when I came downstairs, it was hilarious because our boys were like, oh, Daddy, look at Mommy. And it was really cute. And it's so good for your kids to see that too, for you excited to see one another, and to be excited to spend time together. If you're feeling feeling, can say that, feeling guilty about spending time together when you have children. It's so important for them to see you enjoying one another. Our kids just know, I mean, there are definite times when we're in full kid mode, children mode, and obviously all of our attention is on them and that kind of thing. But the way that we describe, at least to our two older ones, Veda's really not at the point where she understands it. But we say, Mommy and Daddy have to have time, and we need to have time to connect and be away from you guys because our marriage is number one. Because if that's not working, that's not going to be very helpful for you guys. And so Mommy and Daddy need time to connect when you're not around. We love you always, of course, but we still need some time on our own as well. And so I feel like at this point they get it. Sometimes they're not always happy about us leaving or those kind of things, but at least for the two older ones, I feel like they understand it, and they understand when it's date, they get it, and they're usually excited too about whoever is coming over to watch them, and excited to just let those people hang out with them. That's the other thing, is if you're worried about leaving your kids with somebody, test out different people. They'll connect with different people more than they will others. For us, we kind of let a babysitter spoil them a little bit, because then they think the babysitter is really, really cool. This is different if you have somebody watching your child every single day. But for us, if they're coming, then we're kind of like, some of the food rules can go off. If it's not a school night, we'll say that they can maybe play a video game longer than maybe they normally would, or something like that. Like, it's those kind of things that then the kids think and connect a babysitter coming over with special time for them too. Whoops. See if that happens right there. I'm going to show you what to do. Oh, maybe I'm not. I may have to actually leave for 2 seconds. Hold on, I'm going to grab you something and I'll show you what you do with this. Okay, Q-tip is going to be your friend on this. I'm going to let that dry. This is great because I can show you what happens when you do this. All right, see what I did with the mascara? This is Epic Mascara. Look at the difference in my lashes right there, you guys. Love it. All right, that is getting set down. This should probably be dry by now. So you go in and let the mascara dry if you have made a little mistake, and then just take it right off with a Q-tip. If you do it when it is still wet, it's just going to smear everywhere. So let it dry, and it will almost, you can even use like a brush like this to just scrape it off. Just try not to scrape yourself. Okay, eyes are done for date night. Now I need to add a little bit more dimension back in my face because I put on the liquid foundation. It kind of just looks, I mean, everything looks even, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to come in and add a little bit of something. So I'm going to come in, and I am in desperate need of a little bit of color on my face. So I'm going to add some bronzer with this big brush. I'm just going to grab it all, and I'll put a little up here, a little up here. And then I'm going to come in, and this is, if you have heard the word contouring, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it the easy way. You're just drawing attention to your best features. So I want to draw attention to my cheekbones right here. So I'm going to come in, kind of squeeze this together, and do it like that if you want to know where your cheekbones are. I'm making a line right below it, kind of going from my hairline and coming down. Okay, do you see right there what that did? Isn't that crazy how just a little bit of bronzer can do that? And we'll go back and we'll blend it. And then I'm going to put this along my chin, and then a little bit on each side of my nose. Again, I'm squeezing the brush and bringing that down. Okay. Didn't realize my nose was running until I did that. Then I'm going to add a little bit of color to my cheeks. I'm using this metallic color called Spirited right here. And I'm going to grab my blush brush. And you're going to find like your apple. That's not right. Is that right? Is that what that's called? Apples of your cheeks. And I'm going to put a little bit of color on and blend, bring it up. Don't worry. Like I said, we're going to come in and we're going to blend in just a second. And now, to final it all off, I'm going to grab my translucent powder. And it's great because then no matter what you're doing on date night, this sets everything in. It evens everything out. You can blend everything together, and it gives you like a really pretty matted look. But if you're doing anything like, I don't know what you could be doing. Maybe you're really competitive and golfing or something like that, whatever it may be that you're doing. This is just going to help makeup stay on. Or if you're walking in London, for those of you that live here, and it's raining, this is going to help your makeup stay on. Okay, I have one thing missing, don't I? This is what I love. I could right now put on something really neutral on my lips if I wanted to, and it would look great with these eyes because I've gone more smoky, but it's date night. So I'm going for like va va voom. I'm going for the whole thing, and I just said that. I'm going to go red. I'm going to go with like more of an orangey red because you don't have to match your makeup with your clothes, but I've got this new top on that my mom bought me for Christmas. Thanks, Mom, if you're watching. And so this Color Popular is, I love this red. So here, yes, it's liner, but you can wear liner as lipstick. And I am going to line my lips first with it. I've got it sharpened. Line the lips. I love liner as lipstick for date nights because it stays on really well. Eating or drinking or anything like that, it will stay on really well. So I've lined my lips. Now what you're going to do when you do liner as lipstick is then you just go back in and fill it in. So just small strokes, like so. Then filling it in. This is always the most awkward part, you guys, when I'm doing a live with you and doing lipstick because I don't know how to talk while I do it. All right, I can't really tell on the phone and on the camera here if I filled in right. Let me double check. Missed some spots. So you're just filling in the spots, that. Oh, see, I missed a spot. And this is what's always so hard sometimes about doing it right there. It looks like I got it, and then I did not. So we're going to use this mirror. Okay. I will stop right there usually. Sometimes I will add a bonbon to the top of it, or I'll have this in my purse. Right now I think I have like 3 different ones of these in my purse because you can put that together and it will just give a little bit of more moisture on the top. Not that this is drying because it is not that drying, but I know for me, I like feeling a little moisture on my lips. And so I add one of these on the top just to get that feeling. So there you go. There is taking a look and just really kind of, and you can even make this more dramatic if you want to. Like I might add a little bit and then take a picture for you guys. But that is mixing up some things for date night. So now I really wish we were going on a date tonight. Now that we've been talking about this a bunch, we're actually having people over at our house, so that's all right. But I think we have a date day on Monday, and we have a date night next weekend. We are going to see Hamilton here. You guys, I can't even contain my excitement. I am so excited to see it, and we get to see it. I think it only opened up like on the 21st, right before Christmas here in London, and so we get to see it like right as it's new and everything like that. And I've been listening to it and cannot wait. So that is a date night we have coming up. And I tend to like to get dressed up to go to the theater because that's just fun. Why not, right? If you have the chance to do that. So hope that some words of encouragement. If you have questions on like date nights and stuff like that, or even ideas, always feel free to reach out to me for that stuff because like I said, we've been married some years. Doesn't mean we're experts by any means. Doesn't mean we do it perfectly by any means. Like literally, we just looked at this of what last year and realized we were kind of bad at date nights. We did a lot of in-home ones, but we didn't get out of our house as much as we would have liked to for budget reasons. But we're realizing there are ways we can be creative and unique in it and change it up to work for us for it to be budget conscious. So, especially for those of you that may need ideas on that, let me know and I'll tell you some of the goofy things Pat and I have done or continue to do that is still having fun together but does not cost a lot of money or it costs 0 money. So that is that. Also, if you want to get this look or you're like, I'm not sure if those colors will work on me, this color lipstick actually works on a lot of people, but let me know and I will reach out and we will find you a date night look. Love these colors together though. This is the color, I just forgot, Defiant. I used the color Nimble on the outside, proper liner, mascara, and then I did a little things with some bronzer and blush, but then on my lips is the color Popular. So if you want these colors or you want another date night look, you can comment date night below. That's why it says action words up there. I think I'm doing it the right direction. Anyways, I hope this has encouraged you a little bit to explore what it would mean to date your spouse more or to make that part of your routine. Again, you won't be perfect in it, but it's just taking one step towards it and trying to. The biggest thing I think that I can give advice for is definitely putting it on your calendar and honoring that on your calendar. Because for us, our calendar just gets filled really quick, or people want to know if you want to do something, and if we can look at the week ahead and be like, oh, nope, sorry, we have something scheduled that night. People are really understanding, actually, generally, to that. If not, explain to them why that's important to you, and they'll probably understand. So put on your calendar, sit down together and do that. And we do it a couple months in advance because it just quickly gets filled, especially when you have children and especially when you're involved in lots of different things. So that's my encouragement to you. I hope that that has been helpful and that you have a wonderful weekend, whether you have a date tonight or later or whenever it may be, that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and that you can live in your wild beauty to take that out into the world to do something for somebody else today and encourage someone else, whether that's a boost of confidence for them or them just knowing that you are there to help them through something that will make a world of difference. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Friday, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.